What is a challenging fragrance? So this is something I feel like a lot of people get wrong or might get wrong and spend a lot of unnecessary money. So something that's challenging is this buckwheat honey, or to some people, a lot of people say it's medicinal or it tastes like a barnyard. In Texas, we only get wildflower honey, or mostly that's the main kind of honey we get. So I ordered this from Amazon. I think this honey is from the northeastern United States. We don't have buckwheat honey down here, and yeah, it's somewhat challenging, but I keep wanting to try it again because it's so unique. And the more I try this honey, the more I actually like it. I start noticing the like butterscotch notes in it. Yes, it's a little medicinal, but a lot of honeys are. And yeah, it's a little animalic for a honey, but it's, I don't want to say it's blended because it's like single source natural, it's just honey, but it seems like nature blended this honey really good, all the notes, and it's different from your standard honey. So I grow to like it more and more. I feel like good challenging fragrances are similar. So oftentimes I'll put a fragrance on and I think to myself, yeah, that's kind of challenging for me. Say it's trying to think of some examples here. Say it's say it's I don't know, a fragrance with cumin and rose or something, like maybe at first the cumin, um I don't like it, it doesn't smell good, but then it dries down, it evolves to this nice rose, and the cumin kind of just takes a seat back, and then it makes the rose more interesting. Or say a Hyrax rose fragrance, at first I just get the Hyrax and I'm repulsed by it, like, oh no, that's not good. But once you get used to it, once you start noticing the other notes blended with the Hyrax, it becomes better. You want to keep wearing it. I think a lot of times a challenging fragrance might have something that stands out and people just don't like it, and then like their brain automatically goes to that challenging facet of the fragrance and ignores all the rest. But oftentimes this can make a fragrance unique and different from other fragrances, and once you appreciate that, you start growing more to like it. Now, there's also challenging in a way that's bad. I feel like a lot of times I don't want to call any brands out, but there might be more artisanal or indie perfumers that they'll just use, say, a massive dose of ambergris, a natural ambergris, or a natural, or say like a lot of civet or something, just to be challenging. And a lot of people will say, oh, the ingredients are high quality, and they keep trying to like that fragrance. And in reality, it's just the perfumer trying to be challenging. And because he knows there's a certain part of the market that will buy the fragrances because they're like, oh, wow, now this is really challenging. And a lot of times with artisanal perfumers, they use such good ingredients that the notes speak for themselves. Like say a perfumer uses a high quality rose and a high quality oud, and that's really it. Maybe they'll dress it up with some citrus top notes or something that don't necessarily fit perfectly or don't last. I mean, just a rose and oud, it's going to smell good. There's a lot of notes that you can combine, a lot of essential oils that they will they will smell good together. Like uh like I have some myrrh, frankincense, a little bit of lemon, a little bit of orange, and it didn't take me much to blend all of those essential oils to make something that smell good. I'm sure it's similar with rose and oud. Now that's a little bit different because those essential oils, at least the ingredients are high quality and they work. I feel like similarly a lot of these perfumers will do that with just challenging fragrances or notes and it's not really blended well. So like say somebody's just throwing all these animalic notes together and it comes off as off-putting and maybe it just is, maybe it's not blended good. I don't know. I mean, maybe if you're into that, but I feel like I would just be aware if something is challenging just to be challenging versus is it off-putting at first but you keep coming back to it. Don't make yourself like something you don't like. Now there's also another aspect where you just don't like something, like say because it's boring isn't challenging, I feel like, or a note you just don't like say for me a real bubblegummy tuberose, I just don't really like it. Or say a fragrance that's just cumin heavy throughout the fragrances wearing, or Blue Day Chanel or something. I just don't like it. I just don't want to wear it. I don't think that's challenging. I think it's just there can be, like say Blue Day Chanel, just or a lot of common designers. It's not challenging for me. Like I don't want to keep coming back to that fragrance and smelling it. So that's not really challenging. That's just boring, I guess you could say. But yeah, there's also notes I just don't like. And in those ways it can be challenging, but I just don't like them. I feel like that's also a thing. And I do come back to those fragrances, and when I don't grow to like them, I feel like I just accept that I don't like those, but I still give them a chance, you know what I mean? So yeah, I hope this helps with understanding what a challenging fragrance is. I think a lot of times a good indicator that it is challenging it is if a lot of other people like the fragrance and respect it and you might not because it's just repulsive. I feel like that's a good indicator that it could be challenging and maybe it's worthwhile to revisit that fragrance and see why you don't like it, and like figure out why you don't like it. That's another aspect of challenging fragrances. Like maybe it's a old school fragrance that a lot of people like and you just don't like it. Well, why is that? Does it not smell modern enough? Why don't you like the fragrance? Does it smell like something too much in the past? And like, well, why are you not okay with that? Or maybe a lot of people like it and it's a little bit animalic. Like, why don't you like the animalic? Does it smell like a farm that you visited in the past? But why don't you like that? I feel like, yeah, basically that's a good indicator that it's challenging. If other people appreciate it and you don't, why is that? And then maybe you'll grow to like it. But yeah, I feel like just be aware that a lot of brands will just throw a lot of crazy notes out there, and maybe it's too much, you know. That's something to keep in mind, I feel like. But yeah, let me know what you think. What's a challenging fragrance? I feel like this isn't something a lot of people talk about, really. Yeah, let me know.